Hey everybody, it's Jeff with Fan TV. Thank you for joining us on this session where we have a special feature where we want to highlight a small but growing population of our captain ecosystem. We are highlighting our mom captains in this segment. You know, we couldn't do what we do without captains, and having a unique perspective on the moms that come out and commit their time and dedicate their time to help their sons and daughters do what they love is really neat to us. So we're joined by Brooke and Clayton and Gavin, and we're just going to spend some time and talk a little bit about captaining and high school fishing. So first of all, you know, it's really cool to see how you got into this and what kind of watching you from when I think I'm going to get a boat to I'm going to be a captain to where you guys are and where you finished. And I just thought that was a really neat story. So what drove you to go into this, be a captain and get a boat?
I think it started probably when Clay was 2. I mean, he was born a diehard fisherman, and from the time he was in Pampers, he used to fish in swimming pools to any puddle of water he could find. And when we moved up here to Austin, at that time he was used to saltwater fishing. So when we moved up to Austin, kind of missing the beach scene and having that access so close to home, I just started Googling fishing in Central Texas, and Van popped up. I contacted you and Scott, and at the time we didn't have any clue how to bass fish. Didn't have a boat, didn't have anything but a couple of kayaks, and Scott connected me and you connected me with the team, and that's where it started. And ever since then it's been, I mean, I don't think he's missed a single tournament probably since we started. He loves it. It's his passion.
And you've never owned a boat until you got one a couple years ago, right?
Yes. So he started in the end of 7th grade, I believe, and he fished, you know, most of the tournaments, but then he'd always get worried. Okay, well, am I going to have a captain for this one, or am I going to be able to fish? And as he got more and more involved in it, I wanted him to be able to fish every tournament. So I figured I'm going to have to get a boat. I mean, it kind of wasn't an option, really. So I started out with a boat. I bought my first used boat. Didn't work out so well, but it lasted enough time for me to learn how to maneuver a boat and operate it safely, get him out on the water, and that's where it went from there.
And you guys got out there last year, and I know you got a new boat, and just had a great time on the water. I'm very interested to learn about some of the experiences that you had while you were on the water being a captain.
Oh, wow. I'm sure they'll chime in on this.
You'll get your chance.
They've been awesome, as well as all the other captains around. Everything I've learned about driving the boat to what's important to them in fishing and doing the tournament has been because they had the patience. Really is what it boils down to. I think at first they'll probably admit they were very embarrassed to have a mom as a captain. You know, there's not a lot of them, and they were like, oh Lord, what are we getting into? But it worked out good. I think asking them, you know, down the road, I said, hey, you know, do you want to try somebody else as a captain? And Clay said, no, I'm good. And that was kind of a moment for Mom, you know, it was like, okay, I did this, I got it.
The first couple tournaments, she would always try to help us out as a captain, like normal captains would, just trying to be a good captain. But she didn't really know a lot about bass fishing. And as we started going on more and more, she kind of learned more about fishing, as we did too. And then she'd kind of be able to help us out sometimes whenever we'd just become like kind of stuck. We couldn't get a bite, and then she'd be like, well, throw this lure, and we'd catch fish.
So that's got to be kind of like, wow, what just happened? Mom
Yeah.
made a suggestion, throw this, and it caught a fish. It's like,
Yep.
oh, I wish that would have never happened. Now
Yeah.
Mom knows everything.
That's pretty. Yeah, that's how State went. We'd have a single bite, and then she's like, "Oh, cast to that tree," and I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And I was like,
That's
"Okay,
exactly
I'll do it."
how it went.
I flipped this tree and catch fish, and I was like, "Okay."
It was the only bite all day.
Yeah.
through.
Yay, Mom. So I know there were a lot of great experiences you mentioned. So tell us a little bit of some of the highlights and some of the lowlights of being out on the water.
Oh, wow. Well, one I'll never forget is when Gavin moved up here, these kids grew up together. We're both single moms. So I took them out fishing on Mother's Day of all days. Not what I'd like to spend my Mother's Day doing, but I think we were trying out the boat or something like that. And so I took them out fishing, and I'm sitting there just, enjoying the wildlife. They're fishing, and Gavin flung his pole back and knocked me right inside of the head. Luckily, I just put a ball cap on, so it didn't hook my head actually, but blood started running down, and the boys thought they needed to run me to the emergency room, but everything turned out just fine.
So was that the highlight or the low light?
Call it what you want. Life experiences, I guess.
And so I think one of the neat things about being a captain and just the mentorship, but it's a little different when it's a parent, right? So you had a chance to probably bond in maybe ways that most people that don't have this experience of some good time on the water. Can you have any stories about that?
Actually, I was just thinking I'm excited about this tournament because they've been off from fishing, tournament fishing for 3 months, and we haven't had a whole lot of time to take the boat out. And since they're both working now, they're 16, they're getting older, I feel like I'm missing time with them. So now it's I think just the quality time with them on the water. There's no interruptions, there's nothing else going on. Watching their faces light up when they think they pull in, the biggest bass of the tournament, to their faces when they lose a big bass. They work well together, and watching them work as a team is just another highlight of it. I mean, there's just so many things can happen on a boat with just the three of you, and it's just nice to be there. And that was another thing that prompted me to get a boat, I think, was I was able to come to weigh-in, able to drop them off in the morning, but I got to miss all the in-betweens, the catches and the misses and hooks and heads and things like that.
So tell us, if you can, how fan and high school fishing has impacted y'all's life as a family and just as a mom and or as a son.
That might make me cry for a minute. It was I think moving up here was tough overall for us. It was very tough on Clay. I know it was tough on Gavin the year after when he moved up, and having that enjoyment and watching my son go from being embarrassed to have me as a captain and not knowing anything about it to, everything I know about bass fishing, which isn't a lot still, but it's enough, They've taught me. They've taken the time and the patience, and there's been some times where, it hasn't worked out well, and then, okay, we got this. But Fan and all the dads and the anglers, everybody's been so receptive and helpful, and I think they've probably seen some of my failures and seen how much I've improved since we've started, but I wouldn't have been able to do it without the dads and you guys to be there to help us. They wouldn't be able to do it. The other thing is in a fan tournament, especially, having them say a prayer in the morning and the Pledge of Allegiance before they go out of every tournament it's kind of, it's a sense of pride you have for them being a part of that.
Well, what would you say to the moms out there that are going, should I do this or not? What would you tell them?
Oh, I'd say it's a big challenge, but well worth it. And when you finally get it done, you're just so proud of your kids for sticking it out with you and proud of yourself for doing it. I never thought in a million years I'd do this. And I love it now. I enjoy it. I enjoy being out there on the water with them. And I think if you put your mind to it and you get some help from people like you guys, then you can do it.
Yeah, very cool. Glad you're out there on the water. Thanks.
Thank you.
So, you guys, did you think you'd come away at the end of last year on Lake Travis at the championship
Oh no.
in a second place?
No.
That tournament, I didn't think we'd place at all. I thought we were gonna be like dead last, but we got out there. We were already late to take off. We couldn't find the ramp, so we just launched at a random ramp and then kind of drove our way in the boat over there. We ended up pulling in as all the other boats were leaving. We got our number, we left, and I just kind of saw one spot that looked good. I pulled up there, went down the bank. First fish is a 4-pounder, so that's always good. And we just kind of fished that whole bank and just went down it and caught our limit right there. And then just kind of stayed in that one bank all day, really.
Wow.
In one spot.
Well, it's a great way to end a year, crazy year. Because I remember you guys would come up the stage, and I know it was tough. And I remember it's like, so tell us, who was the captain? How did that go? And I remember, Clayton, you're going, oh, and I could tell it may not have been one of the better tournaments of the series, but it ended up in a pretty high moment.
Yeah.
What would you say, again, I'll ask you the same question as far as how would you say fan and high school fishing has impacted y'all's life, both of you, and maybe especially with your mom being on the boat with you as a captain?
Whenever she first said that there's like high school fishing up here, I didn't understand what it was. And then she said you can be on a team, like a fishing team. And I didn't know anything about bass fishing, but she made me join it, and I didn't want to join it. That was the last thing I wanted to do, was do high school fishing, and she made me do it. And I ended up liking it, and then just kind of love it now. That's all I do.
Right.
I get home from school and I go fishing.
There you go.
That's about it.
Gavin?
I remember my first year, I wanted to quit. I didn't catch anything in tournaments. It's like, I don't know how to bass fish. I just wanted to go back and saltwater fish. But I stuck through it, and now I'm glad I did. I love it now.
Do you think being part of a faith-based fishing club is a kind of weird, or is it good? Or tell us
good.
how that makes you
I
feel.
think it's good.
Yeah.
I like it.
I think it really helps out the team. Just kind of be one.
Makes more like the team family
Yeah.
almost.
Because some
really.
teams, they're just kind of just a bunch of people that get together and fish. They don't know each other.
Here at Lake Buchanan, wrapping up the first qualifying event, taking the second phase of the feature of our captains, the kind of the blessing we have with mom captains. We're with Tandy Stroud and Keegan Stroud of the newly formed Fredericksburg Battling Bass. And so, what we talked about in the earlier segment is how kind of special this is for us. And I know Tandy came out, I don't know how many years, it was about 3 years ago.
Yeah, it's been 3 years.
And she came out and just blew us away, bringing that skeeter boat out and taking, at the time you fished with the Marble Falls, who was your partner?
I went through, I had Calvin Todd as my partner and Jarrett Robertson.
Right. So really this focuses on moms. And so I wanted to know what drove you to decide you wanted to be a captain.
Jeff, more than anything, it was seeing how passionate he was about wanting to fish competitively. And really researching what we're going to do, how we're going to do this. Should he co-angle? Should I be a boater? What are we going to do? And we tried the co-angling side of things. Being outdoorsmen our whole lives, of course we'd had boats, but not bass boats. And we sold one boat and bought a bass boat, and I learned how to drive it, and here I am 3 years later. I think
So you hadn't really bass fished prior to, you were more offshore or saltwater fishing, right?
really just anything recreational, freshwater and saltwater both. We did some bass fishing, a lot of trout, Colorado, that sort of thing, but it was all recreational. And this is a whole different ball game, but it's a lot of fun, and we love the competitive side of it, even down to driving the boat fast and passing everybody in the mornings.
So Keegan, what did you think when Mom said, "Hey, I want to be a boat captain"?
Well, at first I was a little scared. One, because of her driving, and two, well, I mean, everybody's dads do it, and then I was like, Mom, I was like, this is gonna be a little weird. And then we got to doing it, and it just kind of worked out, and it's fun. I'm glad she did it.
Yeah, we are too. I think it's been awesome. So how has this fishing tournaments brought you guys together? And I'll start with you.
Oh my goodness. I think more than anything, Jeff, when any parent spends the amount of time that I'm spending with my son on the water, the early mornings, the late nights, the pre-fishing, and you're not like in a house where if you don't want to be around each other, you can walk away. You can't walk away. I mean, you're on a boat. So I really think that it's increased our communication levels a lot, with each other. I think we communicate not just, as a parent and a son, but we're meeting up as a level of being friends and sometimes even partners. I mean, we've even talked about partnering up for some of the, bass champs and things like that. And I think that would be a lot of fun because it's where I learned the boating side a little quicker than the fishing side. And Keegan does both. Keegan's now teaching me the fishing side of things, and we love it.
How about you? Same question. How has it brought you guys together?
How has it brought us together? It's definitely, I feel like we spend more time together. Mm-hmm. It puts more time for us together. I don't think we'd spend as much time together as we do on a boat as we would if we didn't fish.
If we weren't doing this, that's right. Highlights and lowlights. I have to say lowlights are rough tournaments. When you really either don't weigh in or you don't really bring in the fish, it's always disappointing for me because, there's a part of me that says, wow, what could I have done to learn more, you do more, because I never want them to be disappointed. But at the same time, I'm so proud of them in the capacity that they conduct themselves, their good sportsmanship and things like that. So where it's disappointing, it also makes me very proud at the same time. But that's probably the biggest roller coaster for me as a captain and a parent, because you never want to see your child disappointed.
Right.
So, yeah.
Lowlights?
Lowlights, I would have to say when I think she's disappointed in me. For something I argue about something because I know everything about fishing. So I don't know. And then highlights.
Oh, we've got a lot of highlights.
There's a lot of highlights.
We do. We've got some good tournaments that we really weighed in well at. There was a Lake Austin tournament. We did well. We were second place, I think, second or third. The Lake Travis Open last year, we missed first by 0.2 of a pound. We were actually the only team that came in with 5 fish. Wow. That was a huge highlight for us.
And we won the cup.
Yeah, Marble Falls High won the Lake Travis Cup. That was a huge highlight. It's just the travel opportunity. We go to the Student Angler Federation World Finals every year. The opportunity to do that every year is amazing. I think that's a highlight every year of seeing new places, fishing for 10 days in the same place. You're pre-fishing and then 4 days of tournament. It is. It's a lot of fun. I wish we had a camera on our boat for our fishing bloopers. Someday I think we're going to learn how to do that. We could probably sell it.
So, and I guess in closing, because I know you guys are off to, where are you headed next today?
We're headed to Shreveport, Louisiana, to the Red River.
Right.
Because I fished the BASS Opens. Okay.
It's going to be a fun tournament. The Bay, it's a great fishery out there.
Yes.
So how would you describe, or if Faith Angler Network or high school fishing has impacted y'all's life?
It has definitely taught me a lot. It's taught me, so I guess you could say respect. It's taught me communication, definitely, because you have to communicate to do this.
Jeff, as far as Faith Angler Network's concerned, y'all have been absolutely amazing and so supportive of me from the very beginning. And the captains that I have found with your tournament specifically have been just so embracing and so encouraging. Anytime I've had a question, I was never made to feel like I didn't know what I was doing. It was always, hey, let me help you out. Hey, what can we do to help you? How can we help you be successful? That way, if you're successful, you can help these boys be successful. And that has been wonderful. I mean, I could not thank you enough for that. I appreciate Faith Angler Network so much in that capacity. High school fishing all the way around, the opportunity it's given myself and my son to spend this time together. And really, I mean, we are experiencing his high school years together. You know, we're going to Shreveport for 10 days. All he's going to do is fish. It's really neat. So.
Well, I know you guys are getting ready to leave, so I want to thank you guys for being part of the Fan family. It's really special to me that you're taking this captain to the next level, and so I just put it out there. Don't be get out of your comfort zone. Do something that may be a little different. I think you'll find it to be refreshing and rewarding. Wow. I hope you enjoyed that video as much as we enjoyed putting it together for you. Since we shot this video back in the fall, we started the new 2016-2017 season, and I'm honored to say that we now have 7 moms out on the water captaining their children. And how awesome is it that after hearing the stories from Tandy and Brooke, to know what memories and what bonds are being created on the water this year. There's a reoccurring theme that runs through the Fan Captain program and Faith Angler Network in general, and that's, whether you're a mom, a dad, a grandparent, uncle, or just one of our volunteer captains that come out with no children in the tournament. Fan high school fishing does impact lives and builds character one fish or one captain at a time. Captains are vital to any high school fishing program, and your mentorship is something that these student anglers are going to remember and cherish for a lifetime. Thanks for watching this segment of Fan TV, and if you want to learn more about the Fan Captain program, or you want to learn about Fan high school fishing, check us out on the website at faithanglerNetwork.com. We're on Facebook at Faith Angler Network. Subscribe to this channel, Fan TV. We'd love to have you follow us and help support our social media efforts. God bless you, and we will